The crowd at Talladega erupted louder than they had all day. Not for a cup champion. Not for a veteran. For a guy from YouTube who wasn't even supposed to be there. Cleetus McFarland finished P2 lead laps and came within one decision of pulling off one of the most shocking wins in recent NASCAR memory. Just weeks before this race, NASCAR told him no. He wasn't ready. He was denied entry. And then he went to Talladega and almost won. What Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Carson Hocevar said after watching it live will surprise you. The exact moment that cost Cleetus the win is more painful than you think. Denny Hamlin broke it down to the split second. And this story is far bigger than one race result. Stay locked in, because this one moves fast. If you are new here, hit that like button and subscribe. This channel is growing fast and every single subscriber matters. Now, let's get into it. So who exactly is Cleetus McFarland? Most people outside the racing world know him for his massive YouTube following built entirely on entertainment, not on a racing resume. But at some point, Cleetus decided that wasn't enough. He wanted to compete for real. He partnered with Richard Childress Racing for his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut, and the NASCAR world suddenly had to take notice. His debut came at Rockingham. It was raw. It was rough. He finished 30 seconds back and 6 laps down. He spun multiple times, collected a pit road speeding penalty, and somehow kept the car mostly intact. He called it himself hectic. That one word was the most honest summary anyone could have offered. He didn't pretend it went well. He knew exactly what happened out there. Then came the Talladega denial. NASCAR EVP John Probst was direct. We'd like to see more out of Cleetus in the short tracks. He remained approved for all ARCA races, all Truck Series races, and O'Reilly short tracks. This was not a total rejection. It was a firm and deliberate not yet. Cleetus reacted with frustration, but surprising maturity. He called it a kick in the nuts, but followed it with something far more important. I need more windshield time. That line said everything about where his head was. Before the ARCA race at Talladega, Dale Earnhardt Jr. had already weighed in clearly. He had watched the truck test with Nice Motorsports, the O'Reilly test with RCR, and the Rockingham race. His verdict was blunt. In all 3 of those, he busted his ass. He recommended 1 to 3 more events before Cleetus should be considered for a Superspeedway at the O'Reilly level. Mark Martin echoed the sentiment, arguing the process had been rushed, and that more time in ARCA would have been the traditional and smarter path. So NASCAR said no. Dale Jr. said not yet. Mark Martin said the process was rushed. And then Cleetus went to Talladega anyway, in the ARCA series, and rewrote the entire conversation. The ARCA Menard Series race at Talladega Superspeedway was where everything changed. Cleetus entered as an outsider, a curiosity, not a contender. The grandstands were not packed, but the infield was. The energy was already building before the green flag even dropped. Then it happened. With under 30 laps to go, Cleetus McFarland took the lead. His radio call in that moment, "I'm living the dream," was genuine and unscripted. On the Fox broadcast, he went further. "Mark my words, I am winning this race." The crowd reaction was described by those present as louder than anything heard all day. Reports from the track compared that pop directly to the reaction Dale Earnhardt Jr. used to generate when he grabbed the lead. Let that sink in. A YouTube creator, leading laps at Talladega, with the crowd going absolutely crazy. Then came the moment that decided everything. On actions detrimental, Denny Hamlin broke it down with surgical precision. Cleetus had drafting help behind him. Momentum was there. Everything was set up. But in the final sequence, he locked onto the wrong car. He was so concerned with the car that was on the inside. He goes down. He's trying to block it. Meanwhile, the guy that was about to push him just goes on by on the outside and wins the race. 1 lane. 1 hesitation. That was the entire margin. Carson Hocevar put it equally plainly. The second you're done with that guy, you have to go get to the next guy. At Talladega, that kind of split-second decision is the difference between a story and a legend. Cleetus McFarland finished P2 in a photo finish. It was the first time he had ever led laps in his young racing career. He didn't win, but what he did might have been more important than winning. The reactions from inside the NASCAR world were immediate, and they carried real weight. Denny Hamlin watched it unfold in real time and did not hold back. Cleetus was just one solid move away from actually winning. He went further, addressing the larger picture. It looks like he's more in control of his car now than he's ever been. The track time is doing him well, and the ARCA Series is doing him well. It's working. Hamlin is a veteran Cup Series driver. He does not distribute praise for content. When he says it's working, that carries genuine meaning. Then there is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and this is where the story gets genuinely compelling. Remember, this is the same Dale Jr. who said he saw enough not to approve Cleetus for Talladega in the O'Reilly Series. Now listen to what he said after watching the ARCA race. "I thought that he looked like a guy who knew what he was doing. It's starting to click. He might not even know it." That is not a small shift. Dale Earnhardt Jr. does not reverse course for entertainment purposes. That quote represents a real and meaningful evolution in his assessment. Carson Hocevar added his own layer. "When he pulled out, I was like, it looks like he's done this before." And then Hocevar, an active Cup Series driver, offered the most forward-looking comment of all. "I figured it would click more on the Superspeedways first." That's all he's trying to do, just be good enough to run the Daytona 500 and really be in the field. After Talladega, that goal doesn't just feel possible anymore. It feels like a real conversation we need to be having. The development arc here is not a coincidence. At Rockingham, it was survival mode. Spinning, laps down, hectic from start to finish. At Talladega in ARCA, it was leading laps, nearly executing a race-winning move, and generating crowd energy that veterans would envy. That is not luck. That is a development curve happening in real time. Cleetus said he needed more windshield time. He was right. And the results proved it. There is also a stronger argument worth making. If NASCAR had approved Cleetus for the O'Reilly Series at Talladega too early and something had gone badly wrong, the backlash would have been severe. It could have ended the entire experiment. Instead, he gained more laps, more experience, and came back to the same track in ARCA and nearly won. The denial may have protected his trajectory more than anyone realized at the time. The talent debate has also shifted permanently. Before Talladega, the question was whether Cleetus was just entertaining or could actually drive. After Talladega, that question is gone. The new question is how far he can actually go. Mark Martin's pre-race assessment was partially correct. The development time was needed. But his ceiling concern? That part may have been underestimated entirely. And then there is the crowd. The reaction when Cleetus took the lead, compared directly to Dale Earnhardt Jr. That is not a rating story anymore. That is a genuine fan connection story. NASCAR has not seen that kind of organic crowd energy around a new name in years. The path forward is clear. More ARCA races are scheduled. Truck Series entries are already approved. O'Reilly short track appearances continue to build the case. And the stated goal, confirmed by Hocevar himself, remains the Daytona 500. NASCAR EVP John Probst left the door open from the beginning. A near win in ARCA at the exact track he was denied entry to. Does that move the needle on a second approval conversation? That is the real question now. NASCAR has a crossover star developing in real time. The only remaining question is whether they manage that development correctly or allow the pressure to rush it again. Here's the bottom line. NASCAR said no. Dale Jr. said not yet. Cleetus said fine, give me more windshield time. And then he went to Talladega and nearly stole the whole show. One split-second decision on the final lap was the difference between a near win and one of the most shocking victories in recent NASCAR memory. But honestly, P2 at Talladega, after being denied entry weeks earlier, might tell a better story than the win would have. This channel is still growing and working toward 1,000 subscribers. If this video added value for you, a like and a subscribe genuinely makes a difference and helps this community grow. More stories like this one are coming. So here's what I want to know. After that ARCA run at Talladega, does NASCAR approve Cleetus for the O'Reilly Series at a Superspeedway now? Drop your answer in the comments. Yes, no, or needs one more race first.